this is absolutely not a hidden strategy. There is
Correct.
no strategy that says, please tweet, I am on the Epstein list. No, this is not helpful in any way to anyone.
The president has told ABC in a phone call a short while ago that Musk is the man that has completely lost his mind after the tech billionaire hinted at reconciliation on his social media platform X. He's also considering selling or giving away his red Tesla, according to reports. So this has got really big. Let's talk to Matthew Bartlett, Republican strategist who served in the State Department during the first Trump administration. Do you remember the first Trump administration? Trump won. It was so calm back then, wasn't it? Everything was fine. Hello, Matthew.
Hey, Dom. Good morning here from Sin City, Washington.
Yes, welcome. Well, it's all going off. It's not going to be boring there. Well, Matthew, what are your initial reactions to this feud? And no one could ever have seen that coming.
I mean, I think you just described it well. This was a nuclear blast in politics yesterday. And we've had the impact zone. And the question is, do we continue with nuclear fallout today, or will there be some sort of a ceasefire? But arguably, significant damage has been done to a cornerstone of the MAGA movement right now.
So what's the sort of feeling? Because it seemed to me, I was saying earlier, that when I look at my social media feeds, the only person getting even close to the adulation that Trump gets was Musk. So where does a MAGA person sit now with their sort of two heroes splitting up?
That remains unclear. And yes, I think you might be right. This may be the first time in history we are all looking for a social media post, not from the president, but from Elon, to see what he does next. I think there are some important ideological tug of war around this legislation, but Elon's outlandish, even outrageous accusations, just personal attacks on the president, unfounded even, make it almost indefensible in some ways. He is not finding many allies in the Republican Party. When it comes to the MAGA movement, there certainly is a schism. Elon campaigned with the president, was a donor, was a special employee of the president, got the keys to the White House, and has now just gone a scorched earth posture against the president.
Matthew, just for anyone who's missed this, and I really don't want anyone to miss this, can you just remind us of the series of grenades that he launched on Twitter yesterday? X.
Let's see. Yeah, where to begin? He said this bill will contribute to the deficit and the debt by $2 trillion. 100% correct. This bill is not responsible. Fair point. You, Donald Trump, are part of the Epstein files. Unbelievable.
That was the big one. That was the one that I saw. I had to check on X that he actually tweeted that. He said the reason Trump is not releasing stuff about the Epstein files is because he's on the list. I mean, that's going to hit.
Let's just be clear.
Go on.
You can say what you want about President Trump. When it comes to the Epstein files, they were associates. And when Donald Trump found out about the lewd and criminal behavior of Jeffrey Epstein, he helped give a testimony on behalf of the victims. The victims, there's never been an allegation. If anything, Donald Trump has been, an advocate for those. So that's the Epstein claim is just preposterous. But then he went on. Elon said he supported impeaching President Trump, said that anybody who votes for this bill should lose their jobs. This just went beyond and beyond and beyond the pale. That he was going to cancel all of his, SpaceX aircraft and government services. So it's, again, this is a man who is one of the greatest minds of our generation. Let's just be clear, has done things in the private sector no one else has done.
We're talking about Musk here, yeah, not Trump.
Precisely. And when it comes to government, he has been incredibly destructive. His Doge cuts have been preposterous. We are $36 trillion in debt. You subtract the Doge cuts, we remain $36 trillion in debt. His posturing on the bill, this notion of balancing the budget might be true, but he wants, the real reason is he wants his own subsidies for EVs. So this is an erratic person who's rumored to, there's been reporting, uses, if not even abuses, drugs. And now you're...
I was going to ask this, Matthew. I mean, there are rumors that, he microdoses ketamine, and there's been some very odd videos of him sort of with lots of ticks and stuff in the Oval Office. But I think it's the speed that this has happened, from him standing in the Oval Office supposedly side by side with Donald Trump to this really like all-out war. Like what made it go so fast?
It is hard to say, and I think what you just articulated again from a on stage, big donor, ally, friend, a personal friend of the president. Remember, their families spend time together, Christmas dinners, their kids. To now such a poisonous thing, one would have to look at some of the allegations around this. Looks like somebody who might not be stable, and the question is he under any other influences? I would argue that some of his prior comments while he was in government, that USAID was money laundering, you would have to be high to believe some of these outrageous and preposterous things, misinformation that he has said. So now you're seeing again this personality clash, this ego clash. And it's certainly around, dollar signs as well, both in terms of campaign donations, and Tesla's bottom line as well. So a frothy mix, a very nasty mix, and we're not sure if it's all done yet.
Now, I mean, you must have experience in this because you served in Trump 1. You were in the White House, I think, during the first Trump administration.
State Department.
State Department, sorry.
To be clear.
And I mean, there are echoes here of the relationship between Trump and Bannon. Do you see similarities here? Is this ringing bells?
Yes and no. Trump, let's just be clear, in 2016, he won a narrow victory, primarily around a white working class voting base, the forgotten man. In 2024, he returned to power with that white working class, as well as a host of minority groups, and marginalized working class voters, as well as this new Silicon bro tech wing. So the MAGA movement in 2024 was much broader, much deeper, and now you're seeing a massive crack. And you're seeing the schism between the tech elites, if you will, and the nationalist Steve Bannon wing, who's now fired back and said that the U.S. government should take over Elon's companies. They're a monopoly, and they should deport Elon Musk. So this is again getting to be quite contentious.
So what's the end game here? I mean, I'm not asking. I mean, you know Nostradamus, I presume, but I mean, what's going to happen?
What a great question. This could absolutely continue on to have Elon firing away at legislation at the president from the sidelines, withholding his campaign donations, maybe choosing to use it in ways that would work against Trump or the Republican Party. This could get ratchet up escalatory rhetoric. He may pull down Starlink. He may, break off some of his services that he provides to the country in terms of SpaceX and NASA. Or Trump may cut them off. Or they could be best friends in the Oval Office, by Monday morning. These are two
okay. That's interesting.
Interesting cats.
Because there are people suggesting this could be a hidden strategy between the two. All those people saying, "Oh,
No. This is absolutely not a hidden strategy. There is no strategy that says, "Please tweet, I am on the Epstein list." No, this is not helpful in any way to anyone.
You sure? Are you sure? Because often people say, "Oh, you don't understand. Trump's playing deep chess or whatever, 3D chess." I don't know what he's playing.
Yeah,
but
I mean, no,
it's
unequivocally not scripted.
So, Trump said, famously that he could stop the war in Ukraine in a day. Do you think there's going to be any sort of? I mean, if it carries on like this, it's got to be hugely, hugely detrimental to the MAGA movement. So they've got to try and work something out, don't they?
Unclear. President Trump is a rare bird. He gets his political capital from a different bank, and he's not on the ballot ever again. His job is to, get his signature legislation, this big, beautiful bill, which is now a bit of a big, beautiful mess, through the United States Senate. That remains unchanged. Elon can do his best. I think Elon even tweeted, "Donald Trump, you're going to be around for 3.5 more years. I'll be here for the next 40 years. So, does Trump need him? Not necessarily, but can Elon try to get his pound of flesh? Very possibly. Or again, let's just be clear, these are very interesting, erratic people. You could see a summit in the Oval Office where they make amends and patch things up, or this could continue to have just nuclear fallout in American politics from Capitol Hill to the campaign trail. All is unclear.
I mean, I think it could have massive implications. I mean, certainly there's a massive view that Musk really enabled Trump to get into power, using X and stuff, and he could flip that round and use it, and he already has, it seems, against him. I mean, is there any chance of Musk going back to the Democrats? I mean, he was a Democrat originally, I think.
You never say never, but I'll say never.
You don't think?
Again,
Would they have him
this
back?
is a
They'd
man.
have him back, surely.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
What about his money?
Would they want? I was going to say, would they want his money? Sure, but no. This is a guy that is on an island right now. Democrats hate him, and now MAGA world hates him. So he is not making allies. This is not addition. This is subtraction to the point of isolation. And when it comes to politics, again, very unclear what happens in the future. I would argue that money matters in American politics, certainly, but it matters to a point. You can ask Kamala Harris. No one says if she just had more money, she would have won. So again, atmospheric reality, atmospheric pressures in politics tend to supersede any source of money, but it is critical.